What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trip. In today's video, I'm going to show y'all how to not be a no-skill sweat on Red Dead. Pretty much we're going to go over ability cards, guns, and player actions usually in the game. We're going to rank them based off 3 categories. There's obvious, where you're a sweat defined no matter what, or no skill. And there's debatable, where some people are going to have a bit of a quarrel and be like, this does take a little bit of a skill. And there's hot takes on which majority will not agree on, but it is to my personal preference. So make sure you guys like, sub, and let's get into it. So first we're going to start off with the ability cards. And the first one we're going to put up is Slippery Bastard. Slippery Bastard is the card where, as you have Deadeye active, you are more accurate, meanwhile your enemies aren't. This we're going to rank as obvious because it just pretty much sums up, like, you're just making yourself more accurate and less accurate, and it takes no skill. Most of the sweats use these, and most of the time they always have auto aim and they're a bunch of no skill, so that's why I had to put it in obvious tier. Next, we're going to go over Quite an Inspiration. Quite an Inspiration means when Deadeye is active, you and allies slowly regenerate health, but I don't really see that as like a no skill as much because it just slowly regenerates health for you and your teammates. It's going to be quite bad for the enemy. I would put this as debatable because it can be beneficial, but then at the same time it would be like it would determine no skill, as your enemy gets one good shot and then they just get hoed the last second, which has happened to me several times, which is why I had to put this in debatable. Now, that's all it for the Deadeye cards. We're going to go head on and talk about the combat cards. One combat card that I believe would take no skill is Gunslinger's Choice, because mostly in Red Dead, you always have people running dual pistols or revolvers. I mean, I'm not against dual revolvers, but when they have Gunslinger's Choice, I immediately know that they would take no skill. It pretty much depends on the weapon they use, which is why I'm going to identify this as a very hot take. Next, we're going to go with another combat card. It is the Winning Streak, which most sweats and no skillers use. And it's pretty simple. You just keep shooting the guy consecutively, and the shots deal more damage. It's mostly in sweats that do damage builds, and it sucks to not be able to use this, which is why I put this as a very obvious take, in which they are sweats or no skillers. Next, we have the only health or recovery card is Strange Medicine. Strange Medicine is where instead of taking damage, you can recover from it, like recover some health, but the only twist is that your regeneration of health just gets halved by speed. I would put this as mostly a debatable, as sometimes no skillers uses this, but I have seen some very skilled people use these type, which is why I had to put it in the debatable category. Last, we have the most infamous, the most hated card in my eyes. It is the Great Old Defenses card, Never Without One. Never Without One is the card on which you take less damage with your hat on, and if it's a headshot, your hat will come off. Then you will take more damage that way. This, by far, is the most obvious card that I have ever seen a sweat or no skiller use. This card is the poetry of cards. So that pretty much concludes all the ability cards that are determined to have no skill, and we're going to move on to guns. So the first gun I am going to say that determines no skill at all is the LeMat revolver. The LeMat revolver is a revolver that pretty much can use any type of ammo. You can use the revolver normal ammo, the express ammo, and the shotgun ammo. And when it's fully modified, it can go spit hard, and you wouldn't even need a very amount of skill to use it. To me, this is pretty much a very hot take, as majority of Red Dead players would use automatic revolver, and then the other half would use a navy revolver, in which I use. So yeah, this is why I put it as a very hot take. Next, we're going to go with the semi-automatic guns, such as the pistol and the shotgun. Now, this is pretty much too OP, which it can be very powerful that it needs no skill, or it becomes way too powerful that you need to learn how to use it properly. To me, this would go on to be debatable, as some can have skill with the guns, but yet I've seen others that just don't know how to play the game at all, and they somehow just keep killing me or my friends that are very skilled at the game, which is why I'm going to put this as debatable. Next, we have the great old Mauser pistol, which is basically kind of like a submachine gun. And basically, this is around the 1800s. Mauser pistols shouldn't be around this time. And people who use it, they really just definitely don't have skill. If you already have auto aim, you can just literally just press L2 and the guy's already there, he's dead. So, it's a pretty obvious take. I didn't even have to say anything. It's just an obvious take, man. Now we're going to move on to our good old sniping rifles. First, we're going to start off with the Springfield Action. Springfield Action is an auto-aim sniper, mostly for like mid-range and for no-skillers, and they think it's the best weapon, but it turns out it doesn't really do as much damage as the next gun I'm about to show you, so which is why I'm going to put this at a very debatable standard. Then we're going to show off the good old bolt action rifle, which is pretty much a Springfield rifle, but with 10 times damage and a little bit more accuracy. So this is going to go into our good old obvious take, because bolt action, literally most of the sweats use it, and it's very annoying when I have to go against a bolt action sniper, especially when I'm friends with snipers and a sniper myself. I have to deal with these type of people. It's just trash and annoying. And I just wish people would use bolt actions. That just won't see Red Dead again, man. Now, this one really pisses me off, and it should piss off the skillful players out there. We're going to go off with the shot-off shotgun, which is a shotgun that can be used as a revolver. This is the no-skillers at its finest, because you could just press L2 and R2 in front of the person, and they're dead immediately. Imagine running it dual. If you run it dual, you are literally the ultimate no-skiller. If you do run this, just get the fuck off this video and go change your loadout immediately, as this is one of the most obvious takes ever. You can't disagree with me on this. All the skillful players can't disagree with me on this, I'm telling you. Last weapon of the day is pretty much going to be the bow and arrow, but it's got to be the explosive rounds. These are just pretty much griefers, because no normal player would do this in a war. So this is just pretty much a call out to the griefers. You know who you are. Change it, because it's one of the most obvious takes that any player that's not a griefer would agree with me. So yeah, we're pretty much done with all the weapons and guns in the game. Next, we're going to just go over pretty much what a player would do, so like their actions or what they already did. First off, we're going to start with if you're over level 500. If you're over level 500, that means you must have cheated some way to get through that, because realistically, Red Dead came out like 5 years ago, and a normal player should be at least like at level 500. Maybe 550, I'll tolerate it a little bit, but you can't be over that. Otherwise, you're going to be known as a cheater, which is a pretty obvious take. Can be debatable, but I prefer to put it obvious. Next, we're going to go with the most debatable take that's ever going to be said in this video. It is spamming tonics while fighting in general. Me personally, I do spam a little tonics a little bit, only pretty much when I'm low, but the sweats and the no-skillers I'm talking about, they just spam it as soon as they take maybe a teeny itty-bitty damage. So it is going to be a debatable take. I'm just going to let y'all argue with this in the comments. Well, if I have any comments on this. Next, we're going to go with the posse names that involve accents or lines. It pretty much is going to be a really hot take, as some can be one of the most skillful players on the planet, or it's just going to be some loser that probably lives in his mom's basement. Next, we're going to pretty much go with drip, such as like the full black outfits or the Ku Klux Klan outfit that I put up on the screen right here. Those are pretty much going to be debatable, as some could be doing it for fun, some could be doing it for like posse, some people could doing it for their own pleasure. It's pretty much all over the tables, which is why I had to put it in the debatable topic. And to clear things up one more time, we're going to go with the easiest take that everybody can agree on, and that's just straight up cheating. No one likes cheaters. Don't use Cronus, don't lag switch, don't do any of that bullshit on a war, because if you just use cheats, you already lost the war, man. Just don't cheat so you can make your pride feel better. And if you don't cheat, at least you can feel better about yourself. So that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys had one of those, you could remove it as possible so you can actually have skill. Make sure you like, sub, and that's really about it. See ya.